Hey there, welcome back. So let's get rocking. Turn one. All right, so let's take it slow. The designer definitely added some new things here, so let's make sure I'm not missing it. So first thing it says, we draw the Zampolet cards before the target cards. Okay, and then I'm not familiar with these cards at all, so we'll just figure it out as we go. How about that? So here we go. All right. The top is just flavor. If you have an improvement target, you must attack it. Randomly select it if you have more than one. If you do not, draw a new Zampolet card and reshuffle this card back in the... Okay, fair enough. That was a very anticlimactic first card. All right, shuffle. Here we go. New card. Randomly select one pilot who is not shaken or unfit. If this pilot is not assigned to a mission today, move loyalty 1 to the right. If the pilot is assigned to a mission, move loyalty 1 to the left. Okay, so that's where this starts to get interesting. So I'm going to move these over to the right. Okay, so our loyalty, this thing happens at the end of the day. So right now it's on no effect. So if I move 1 to the right, I'm going to get -1 stress to all pilots. If I move 1 to the left, I'm going to have to lose an SO point, which I don't want to do. I only have 3 of them. So we're just going to have to figure out a pilot. So we can never pick our ground guy, right? That's not a pilot technically. We can't ever pick our commanding officer. So that leaves us, so we have 3, 6, 9, 12, there's 11. So we're gonna have to choose between the 11. How do I do this with a 10-sided die? What's the best way to do this? It would be the, usually I would have one die be the 10s digit and one die be the 1s digit. But it's only 11 of them. Well, here. We're gonna roll. If I roll an odd, we're only gonna do the odd ones and an even. So this will cut it in half. So we're doing the even ones, and I'm gonna just do them from how they're up there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that. But there's only 11 of them, so. So we get that red one. That's our commanding officer. So this is the next one, both of the reds. That yellow, this yellow, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 of them. So 1 and 2 will be the first one. 3 and 4 will be the second one, etc. I rolled a 10. So it's this last guy right here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, I'm sorry, this guy, 10. That is, oh, so we can't bring our jammer with us. That's fine. I'm not going to bring the jammer. So that'll move loyalty 1 to the right. I know for a fact I'm not going to bring the jammer. So we're going to move it 1 to the right so I don't forget. Okay, it's interesting. This definitely adds a new wrinkle to the game, that's for sure. Now we draw our target cards. Well, how do I know how many to draw? There's no more recon. It's actually your loyalty. And technically the loyalty hasn't moved yet. So we get to draw 3 cards. And even if moving it, it's still... that number on the loyalty is how many cards you can draw. So we can draw 3. Just like every other game, if I draw a scramble, I have to do that one. So let's do this one here. So it's a Rebel HVT. It's a scramble. So I have to stop drawing. I must do this one. It's a soft dispersed vehicle. Dispersed is really nasty. Soft is no big deal. The vehicle means we might want to use the KB25s. It's going to move our loyalty by 2, which is interesting. So I probably didn't need to take that skill that moves loyalty so much, did I? But if I move loyalty by 2 more, we're going to get -2 stress on all pilots. That's interesting. But it does mean, though, if I can get the loyalty really far to the right, I can ignore the Zamplet and move loyalty to the left sometimes. So yeah, anyways, that's going to be our target. I can't draw anything else. There you can see his 3 sights, by the way, in the center. The approach thing and the center thing is very interesting because if I remember correctly, this does not draw them the same way that Eagle Eater did. I just don't remember how it works. But anyways, we got our thing, and you can see here that we can take 4 aircraft with us on this mission, and we need to do 6 hits. The dispersed is a keyword. Every air-to-ground attack cannot inflict more than 1 hit. So if you have one of those bombs that can do multiple hits, it only ever does 1. So that's the dispersed. The soft just means that the certain bombs that have bonuses against soft, some weapons get a bonus. And what was the other one? Oh, vehicle. Same deal with vehicle. Some weapons get a bonus against vehicle. Okay. So we can bring 4 guys. I just can't bring our jammer, and that's easy. We can definitely do that. So which 4? Well, I'm going to for sure bring the AWACS guy. And by the way, following our steps here and being diligent, select primary and secondary targets. Since we drew the scramble, I have to do the primary. There is no secondary. Then in the pre-flight phase, it says determine and place sites. So we get to do that now. And then we assign our pilots and GCI crews and armor aircraft. Okay? So steps 4, 5, and 6 is what we're on. So we're going to draw bandits, and it says basically 3 in the center, 0 in the approach. Now, I distinctly remember there were special rules for this. So let me make sure I double check that before we do this. Okay, so it is the same. And then we're going to do angle of attack counters. That's definitely new. Okay, so it's the same. So we're going to draw 3 in the center. So here we go. So here's our 3. And I drew 2 no sights and a anti-air. So the no sights was a gift. Those I'm just going to put off to the side because we. So this is a very easy mission, and that guy only hits with low targets, as you can see. This little green L. Range 0, low targets. Okay, so like I said, we're going to bring. This is AWACS. He's a free plane. So he doesn't count, and then I get to bring 4 more. Do I want to bring my big bombers? I only need to get 6 hits on this guy. Part of me is like, no, but since everybody's well rested, I should bring 1. Now, do I bring my commanding officer? I don't think I should. Let's bring the one who needs the more experience points. So we'll bring him. And I don't think I need any anti-air at all. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll bring our Zamplet along so we get the extra victory points. And obviously our ground crew will be coming. And let's see, that's 2. So yeah, I just need to bring 2 more of my bombers. I'm just looking. So we're going to bring the fitter, which is the SU-17, and then this is an SU-22 ring mail. We have another SU-22 or another SU-17 we can bring. It doesn't matter. They both have 8 weight points each. We'll bring the we'll bring this one. Okay, so there's a nomenclature I do, and I know people always ask questions about it, but like, so let's take this one really slow. We're gonna go with Garnet here. Garnet is the Zamplet. He's this guy right here, right? You can see he has 8 weight points, but he has no jammer. And I auto-equip jammers all the time, so much so that you're not going to see me mention it ever again. And it's just because it's just, there's no question. I mean, you need the ability to avoid getting hit. Nothing you will regret more in this game than trying to go cheap on your ECM jamming and then getting shot down. Like, it's the worst feeling in the world. So you need your ECM jamming. Now, the ECM jammers on this one are on the opposite side of the rockets. So what I do is I take this ECM jammer, ECM pod, and you can see it has a weight of 1. And now, I said in my last video that I like the skill points from Eagle Leader more, and I was already asked, why did you like the skill points? I like the targeting pods and the expert, targeting pod expert. Like, that to me was a really cool feature. But anyways, those don't exist here. But I can totally see why that's an American thing, though, by the way. So anyways, there we go. So that pod takes up 1 weight point of space. So what I'm trying to get at here is that, sorry, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, is that particular pilot only has 7 weight points available every mission, because this is taking up 1 of them. And it's just right here in the bottom corner showing that he has an ECM pod. And Garnet's going to have 1. And so is the other Garnet. Well, that's Gauntlet. I'm sorry. Garnet has 1. Gauntlet's going to get 1. Ringmail and Lance, all of them. So, well, actually, Gauntlet already has 1. It's built in, because that's the Primo plane that we paid for. But Lance is getting 1. And Ringmail's getting 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Gauntlet, as you can see, he already has 1. In fact, it's just as good as anyone that we could install. So there you go. There's our 4. This guy, technically, I give them ECM pods as well. Not as an equipped, I just assume that they automatically have 1 because they do jamming and all that jazz. Also, we went through this with Eagle Leader. If you have to randomly hit one of your pilots and one of them doesn't have an ECM jammer, you have to like constantly roll separately, and it really slows down the game. So don't just assume everybody has it if they're ECM pod kind of thing like this guy is. Okay, so they're on the mission, and then as you know, we got to equip them. And again, we'll slow down because I'm not familiar with the munitions in this game, but we'll start with this guy again. This is Garnet 441. Remember, he only has 7 weight points. The target, by the way, is number 4. And all of them are going to be in our zone here. I don't see number 4. I'm sorry, the target is 42. That's why. So this is the target right here. And we're inside the first zone, so there's no weight point penalty. And you'll see that up there. But we do have the friendly fire thing, so we're going to have to deal with that. Basically, if you miss with your bomb attack, you have to take 1 stress. Okay, so what's this guy doing? Well, the R's, as I understand it, because he works at Arby's. Those are air to air, or R to R. And the unguided 500K or less are the iron bombs. This we can't equip at all. And then the KH-23, 25, the smorgasbord of KHs, right? The KHs are what we're going to focus on here, because we got this KH-25, which gets a +3 against vehicles. And we're going up against vehicles. So I can hit a vehicle with a 7. And with that +3, I only need to hit a 4 or better. Now that takes 2 weight points. Now it would do 2 hits, except it's dispersed. And I don't think we have any anti-disperse bombs at our disposal. We got in fact, all the bombs that we can have are right here. That's it. So not a lot of excitement there in terms of selection, but that's what we got. And I'm just looking to see if I have more that I need to punch out, because this is clearly not enough. KH-58. Whoever can use KH-58s, those are really nice. Okay, let me pause so I can... Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call while I was in the middle of recording there. So, just making sure everything looks like it's working. Okay, so we were going slow and talking about this person. So this little doohickey here, it's a 2-weight weapon. I can shoot it high or low. It has a range of 2, which means I don't even need to go near that target. I can shoot it from 2 spaces away. I get a +3 to my roll. I need a 7 to hit. The 10 can't happen because it's dispersed. So anyways, I put this on, and technically that's what you're supposed to do, right? You put your munitions here, and since there's 3 of them, I could do like a 2, 4, 6, like that, right? I have 8 weight points. One of them is being used for the ECM pod. You could argue I don't need the ECM pod, but those dang events always screw me, so I bring them anyways. So there's several things you can do. You're technically token limited. In the previous playthroughs, my favorite thing to do is something like that to show that I have 3 of these, or I put it over to the right to show I have 3 of them, right? So that way I'm not, wasting my time picking tokens out of there all the time. But you just have to be mindful of your limit. So anyways, for now, because I'm getting used to this game, we'll go ahead and do it the hard way. And so there's 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna have 6 weight points worth of the, I keep wanting to call them Mavericks, because that's what this would be for the American side. I still have 1 weight point left. And out of all the things, like I can take a rocket so we can suppress, or I can take an iron bomb so that way we can, if all else fails, we could still go over the target and drop iron bombs on the sucker. I don't know what the right move is there. Actually, the iron bomb is probably the smart play. The rocket would help with events, because sometimes you have to just discard air to ground. And if you discard air to ground, you can get resolve events without negative impact. And so it's a 250 kilogram right there, and it hits with a 7. So, and that does not get the +3 bonus like the other one does. So that's something to be very, very mindful of. And I'm just going to punch a few more. Okay, so that's that guy, right? And then that is Garnet, this one, right? And then we have, next up is Gauntlet 622. This is my big 12 weight point guy. And he already has an ECM. So then we can just say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we just load them up with 12 weight points worth. So 6 of those bad boys. Then we have ringmail 441. So ringmail is another one of these dudes with the 8 weight points. And he can take these, but we only have 2 left. So I can load him up with 4 weight points worth. And then this is 5. And then I can do, so it says he can do up to 500 kilograms. So let me grab a heavier bomb. See, the heavier bombs hit with a 2. So that's 2, 4, there's 6. And then we can give him a 1 for 7, like that, right? And I'm not going to do this for every mission because this is painfully time consuming. And then we have Lance 021. So same deal. He has a weight point of 8. And he can do unguided 500 kilograms or less. So same deal for him. He needs an ECM pod. So 2, 4, 6. And then we'll throw in a 1 more for 7. There you go. There's his 8 weight points worth of stuff. Okay. And then, of course, this guy has situational awareness. 3 of them. So you grab one of these tokens and you can put it on him. But yeah, you know me, I like to do stuff like this where I put the situational awareness next to the actual pilot. And then I also like to, my dog is going nuts. Oh, where's the token? Here we go. So that's low, that's high. So this represents all the planes. And I just use this because I keep them all together in the same area. So I just move this to represent moving all the planes. And then what I do is, so this guy has 3 situational awareness, so I put a 3 next to him. The flight leader is the highest promoted one, which is either Gauntlet or him. So I'll give it to Gauntlet. Gauntlet's the flight leader. So I put that over him like that. Or you can put him to the left. Either way. I'm going to put Gauntlet up like that. And he has 1 situational awareness. So that's important. Situational awareness, just a reminder, is way combat works is the fast gets to attack first. Only we can be fast. Most of our pilots are slow, but the situational awareness lets them attack during the fast phase. So they can spend 1 situational awareness to go during the fast phase. Then the enemy goes, and then we get to go during the slow phase. A pilot is either fast or slow, so they're not going twice unless they spend a situational awareness. They're either going to go fast or they're going to go slow. Ideally, you want all your pilots to be fast, but that's not realistic. And instead, you use situational awareness to go fast. I'm overkilling this whole thing because there's not an enemy on the board that's going to attack us. But anyways, so we do this. And then what I like to do is, we can do air-to-air on the right, air-to-ground on the left, however you want to do it, right? Since there's no air-to-air, we could just go to the left. And so, for example, this is our flight leader, and he has a +1 air-to-ground on his card. So you can see that right here, +1 air-to-ground. So when he does his attack, he's going to do +1 air-to-ground, and he is attacking with this weapon, right, with the vehicle +3. So he's technically getting a +4. So the way I do this, because like I have very forgetful memory, is I put a 4 next to him to show that when he attacks, I get to add +4 to his dice rolls. So that's my system. And I do that to represent the game. And then if I have this for all of them, then I can just roll my dice and get the results. But anyways, let's keep going. I'm completely overkilling how slowly I'm going through this. But we armed our aircraft. We're on step 7. Draw target bound event card. So that's this dude. So we're in the target bounds. We're going to do the pay 4 SO points or treat this target as a nuclear target. I'm going to treat it as a nuclear target. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, I don't have 4 SO points, so I can't do that even if I wanted to. Treating a target as a nuclear target is going to move that ops counter 1 to the right. So that's what it means. And if you destroy enough nuclear targets, you're eventually going to force the U.S. to strike back. And that's what's going to cause the game to end. Now, am I missing anything? I might be. But that's what I remember about nuclear targets. So let's see if I can find it here. I'm going to have to pause. It's not in the index. Okay, if you're playing at home, it's page 65. And it's exactly what I just said. Some targets have the nuclear trait. If it's a nuclear target was destroyed, you move the ops track 1 space to the right. If I fail to destroy the target, nothing happens. So I'm treating this like a nuclear target, so that's going to make it move 1 to the right. And that answers the question, like, how am I going to move that ops track? Well, there you go. Very first card of the game moved it for us. I wasn't expecting it to be that quick, but yes, it does. Okay, so that's the target bound. We're going to place our aircraft and choose our altitude. So I'm going to place them here, and we're going to be high altitude. And I'll place them just right up there, okay? So we're in this zone here. If I make them low altitude, these sights can't hit anybody that's out here in the standoff area. And there's one thing I forgot to do, and I need another cup. 1 second. I've got to get another cup for this. I know I have one. It is found. Just takes my old butt too long to go get it. All right. So while I was getting my cup, I found components to another game. I was like, oh, I better not lose that. All right, so here's our new cup. We got to do approach. This has been done in other leader games. I don't play too many that use them, but basically, this here, see this, this I think always faces up, the arrow. We always make the arrow face up. And so this basically represents the range. So all I'm trying to say is the part in red is what it can hit. And this is a map of the game board. So the red sections that you see on there are these red sections. So these two up here, this one in the middle, but I'm sorry, it's these three, including the corner. The outer edge, it is not in the, it doesn't block it. So it sees this corner, this northern spot, and then that corner, but it doesn't see this or this. See, that's the black. So that's the direction it can shoot. So if we were coming from the north, we would be in its line of sight. But that also means that we can't destroy it unless it's in our line of sight for the same ways. So we got to be in its line of sight in order for us to be able to also hit it. But the thing is we're not trying to destroy it. So as long as we come in from the side like we are, or coming in from the south, we would be completely out of its view. Now, once we get over the actual target, like directly over it, then yeah, it can shoot us. But yeah, that's the basic gist of that particular one. And actually, now that I think of it, I don't think we draw them for the center. I think they only get drawn for the approach. I think I'm correct on this. See, it's been a while since I've played with these. I am pretty sure those only work when they're on the approach. Yep, the pre-approach and approach areas. Yeah, so I did not need to draw one at all. So if this was here, then this would be true. And in fact, this would say that if we're over the target, it can't see us. It can only see from here north, if this were the situation. But anyways, it's over the center, and so we don't draw one of these for over center. Okay, how many more ways can I make this last longer than necessary? All right, we draw the target about event card. We place our aircraft, we choose our altitude. Determine and place bandits. There are none. Intel air defense adjustment. So that's this thing here, and there's no change. Okay, then we draw over target. So far, these steps are identical to like Eagle Leader or anything else. So now we do the middle. During turn 1, you cannot attack, but may suppress. Fair enough. Okay, then we